Is the Free Palestine movement a global cult, complete with its own prophets, influencers, and Holy Land? Let's talk about it. I recently came across this video on X making a very provocative claim. The speaker frames the Israel-Palestine conflict as a cultural phenomenon where social media has become a battleground for ideologies.
Free Palestine is not a movement. It's a new religion, and the liberal West has converted en masse without even realizing it. It's not about land or liberation. It's a belief system built on a lie. It has its prophets, the influencers, washed-up actors, and failed academics delivering truth as revelation. It has its martyrs, or the children of Gaza, used as human shields, sacrificed by their own leaders. Its high priests, the corrupt UN and NGOs who dictate morality and who the world must love or hate. And of course, it has its devil, me, the Zionist, cast as evil incarnate for believing Jews have the right to exist and govern themselves in their ancestral homeland, Israel. To question the doctrine is heresy. To ask about its billionaire leaders is blasphemy. To mourn Israeli lives is apostasy. They wear keffiyehs like crosses, chant slogans like prayer, and repost rage bait like scripture. Gaza has become their holy land, but the place where they worship is right here, online. The facts don't matter. The evidence doesn't matter. What matters is being part of the congregation, the global cult of the righteous. Outrage brings belonging. Protests offer salvation. Shame Israel and donate funds, and you are cleansed of Western guilt and reborn as righteous. You're either a believer or a monster. There is nothing else. But where does the money go?
There's a powerful video that's going viral on X right now. And I'll admit that when the war in Israel started in October of 2023, I had very little understanding about Israel, Gaza, Hamas, or the dynamics in the Middle East. I definitely did not have the rapid rise of Jew hate on my bingo card, as I've seen in the last couple of years. And since then, I've spent considerable time developing long-form content about these very complex issues. I'm going to link to that playlist in the description below. But after all of the study and all of the conversations that I've done, I really think the whole debate comes down to one central question. Either you believe that Israel has a right to exist and to defend itself, or you support the Palestinian struggle to annihilate Israel from the map. There really doesn't seem to be a third position. Now, I think that Christians can differ about how best to partner with the modern state of Israel. We could debate a lot of things about Israel and their policies, and I don't think that we should use Genesis 12, 1-3 as kind of a blank check for Israel to be able to do whatever they want and however much it costs and whatever wars we have to support them that they want to participate in. That's not my position. I think we can debate those points and we can look into them and discuss them. But as a general principle, from a pragmatic geopolitical perspective, I do think it's better to support Israel as a larger geopolitical partnership with other countries that have already normalized relations with Israel in the Middle East based on the common belief that Israel does have the right to exist and it does have the right to defend itself against terrorist organizations. I think it is better to do that than to support terrorist organizations that want to wipe Israel off the map. And again, it's a very complex issue, but in my tiny brain, that's really what the whole thing boils down to, is you have to pick a side. You have to go down like one side or the other. And again, that's not to say that I agree with all of Israel's policies and practices and choices and laws. But as a general rule, I do think Israel has a right to exist, and it does have a right to defend itself. That said, I also think some of the Free Palestine people hold a position that does seem kind of cult-like at times, the way this young man describes it, like the whole Queers for Palestine people. Don't they know that there are actually no queers living in Gaza? That they wouldn't be allowed to live in Gaza? That they are kind of just being played as useful idiots in this culture war? This video that is also going viral this week on X describes this dynamic pretty well and why people are willing to live in absolute contradictions over these issues.
The Western liberal mind conceives of itself as being good because it's liberal. The Western liberal tells him or herself, I'm a good person because I'm liberal, and I'm liberal because I'm a good person, which means that I believe in things like the brotherhood of man, conscience and compassion, looking after the wretched of the world, the poor and the wretched of the world, standing up against abuses of power. These are all good things, and that's why I'm a liberal. And I'm a liberal because of all these good things. So, one of the expressions of my goodness and my liberalism is that I support the Palestinian Arabs who I think are an oppressed people, and they are oppressed by the Israelis who have taken their land away from them, and they are oppressing them. Now, every part of that, in my view, is a lie. But put that to one side. This is what the liberal progressive thinks. And the liberal progressive thinks that supporting the Palestinians is therefore something that makes the liberal progressive a good person. October 7 happened, and suddenly you have a situation in which the people that the liberal progressive has supported as being oppressed, and everything they do is a legitimate defense or resistance against oppression, suddenly we can see that those people have turned into the most bloodthirsty savages that could ever be imagined, in which the people that they have supported as being oppressed are good people because they're victims, are these savages. And the people they have represented as oppressors are the victims. They can't have that. Because if they have that, if they admit that that is the case, then their entire worldview is shattered, because the people, you know, the cause they have supported as representing goodness is shown to be evil. And what does that make them? It makes them evil. So they can't have it. So what do? They go to extraordinary lengths to pretend that black is white, that justice is injustice, that oppression is resistance, and vice versa. So they have to represent the Israelis as being at fault. The Israelis are to blame for what's happened. So there is no better way of blaming people than accusing them of the very thing they are the victim of. Projection. So you accuse them of genocide. We hear it also regularly. The Israelis are accused of being Nazis. It's the same thing.
What's interesting to me, too, is that progressives, and I would add to that some extreme conservatives, seem to all be united around their hate for Israel. They would seem to be united around the idea that Israel does not have a right to exist and does not have the right to defend itself. And this is why where you stand on the existence of Israel has become such a major cultural fault line. These days, standing against Israel is easy. You're seen as the good person. It will cost you almost nothing, socially speaking, to stand against Israel. You'll be loved, you'll be platformed, the cult will praise you, but leaving the cult will cost you a lot. If this conversation resonated with you, drop a comment below and share it with somebody who needs to hear it. And don't forget to check out my long-form Theology Mom podcast for more teaching on the Bible and theological commentary on social issues. I'll put a link in the description below to my previous conversations related to Israel, Judaism, Hamas, and Islam. Thanks for checking it out.
Hey, if you enjoyed this content, come check out the Center for Biblical Unity. Download our free ebook, Is Christianity a White Man's Religion? Click on the link in the description below.